TikTok, YouTube, and Meta are facing a landmark trial over claims their platforms deliberately addict and harm children. A 19-year-old anonymous plaintiff claims she got hooked to Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at just 10 years old due to features like endless scrolling and frequent notifications. She says the addiction then led to depression and suicidal thoughts. Snapchat was also named, but settled the case last week for an undisclosed sum. Now the lawsuit could set the precedent for thousands of other similar lawsuits. ABC's Elizabeth Schulze has that story.
Diane, this is really a monumental case. For the first time, TikTok, Meta, and YouTube will face a jury over claims that their platforms are too addictive. So jury selection set to kick off today in a Los Angeles County court. This lawsuit was brought by a then 19-year-old who goes by the initials KGM. She claims that the tech companies borrowed techniques used by slot machines in the cigarette industry to hook users. She says that features like endless scrolling and notifications got her addicted to social media, eventually leading to depression, anxiety, and body image issues. Now, high-profile executives, including Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg, are expected to take the stand in this trial. The tech companies have argued that there are other factors that contribute to the mental health of young users. Meta tells us that we strongly disagree with these allegations and are confident that the evidence will show our long-standing commitment to supporting young users, adding it's made meaningful changes like introducing teen accounts. YouTube also says that the lawsuit allegations are true, and providing young people with a safer, healthier experience has always been core to our work. We haven't heard back yet from TikTok. Snapchat was actually also named in the lawsuit, but then settled last week. This is the first in a series of closely watched social media cases that are set to go to trial this year. Diane.
Elizabeth Schulze, thank you. And if you or someone you know is struggling with thoughts of self-harm, help is available 24 hours a day. Call or text the National Crisis Hotline at 988. And ABC News legal analyst Brian Buckmeyer has more on the case itself. Brian, so the plaintiff is arguing that her social media addiction caused her mental health issues and that the companies deliberately designed the platforms to be addictive. How challenging do you think it'll be to prove all of that in court?
And those are going to be the probably two most challenging arguments in this case. One is that of damages, the point of the fact that it wasn't anything else in this unnamed or anonymous plaintiff's life that could have caused these damages, but it was specifically the social media platforms for these platforms themselves. And even then, the platforms can say, hey, it wasn't TikTok, it was YouTube. It wasn't Meta, it was Snapchat, who's already settled this case. The other issue is that the algorithm itself is specifically designed to cause this harm, or that their use of the algorithm caused it. It's going to be a very difficult argument, but if successful, it could change the landscape of social media.
Is it enough for the tech companies to argue that the law as written shields them from liability, or do you think they'll have to address these allegations more directly?
So, Diane, that's a legal argument, and since we're at the point of trial, it's presumed that all legal issues have been resolved, and now we're at a factual standpoint. The law is Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act, which by and large shields platforms and users from third parties posting. So, for example, if I post something on social media about another individual, social media, the TikTok, the YouTube, whatever it may be, they're not liable based on this law. It's a law that has stopped a lot of litigation going forward. Think of deep fake pictures that have been posted of other individuals that we've covered in this case, and I've also covered a case on Nightline as well about it. If this litigation goes through and it's not attacking the platform directly, but instead attacking its algorithm, it could open the floodgates and definitely change the way we view social media and how they use their algorithm.
And executives, including Meta's CEO Mark Zuckerberg, are expected to testify in this trial. What kind of an impact could these high-profile testimonies have on this case and beyond?
So there's always a bit of shock and awe when you have Mark Zuckerberg or any CEOs or heads of large companies that a lot of us are a part of or interact with in one way, shape, or form. But it's going to be, I think, a sense of kind of the buck stops here. There are going to be some very difficult conversations from Mark Zuckerberg and others who testify as to why their algorithm is built a certain way. What is the kind of special sauce, so to speak, that makes these social media platforms so addicting? And I don't think they're going to be able to skirt around the issue that these are addicting in many ways based on reports, as well as potentially what the plaintiff's going to bring forward in terms of their own mental health and what their own doctors say. It's going to be a question of why does your algorithm work this way, and what protections are you putting in place, and why did you not cause the harm of this individual? It's going to be difficult for, I think, even a CEO to answer.
All right, Brian Buckmeyer, thank you.